Hello, this is Thomas, K4SWL. If you're new here, I like to do real-time, real-life amateur radio field activation videos. And today, you wouldn't know it looks like I'm on a farm, but I'm here at the Zebulon Vance Historic Birthplace. I've been doing lots of activations here this particular season, mainly because of how it fits in my schedule, my travel schedule each week, my family schedule. And I feel pretty fortunate to actually be able to use this park because it's a great one. The only really practical places to set up are right here under this picnic shelter, which isn't too bad today. You can't see it right now, but we've had snow flurries all day long, just really light ones, very, very light snow flurries. And it's cold. Truth is, I think I said this maybe in the last video here if I recall, but this has been probably the warmest winter I ever remember in western North Carolina. We had one really hard cold snap that lasted about almost a week. But other than that, we just haven't had as much of a winter. We haven't had, even at my house, which is at a higher altitude, we haven't had more than maybe a couple inches, 3 inches of snow up there once. And it's been really warm. But here we are in mid-March. And we got another kind of cold snap come through, and it's about, I think I was in the car, it was 34 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's what, 1.5 degrees Celsius or something. And it actually is, I don't consider that to be very cold, but I'm not used to cold weather anymore. We've had since January, it's just been so warm. And the last time I was here, it felt like summer. I was in short sleeves. I could have easily been in shorts because I think it was 80 degrees Fahrenheit that day, or approaching it. So we're not used to it, and it is really gusty today. Right now it's pretty calm, and I hope it stays this way because it's been gusty enough that I've even wondered if you'd be able to hear me easily with the mic here on the camera. And today I've gone ahead and deployed the antenna. I was going to show this, but I got a phone call and decided, instead of holding off the activation and just making it last longer, that I'd take the phone call. And so I just talked to the person while I was putting up the antenna. So I deployed the Chelegans MC750, which is a vertical antenna. I've set it up to be resonant on 20 meters right now. So if you look here, you see 14 megahertz here on the dial. I don't know if you can see this on the silk screen on the stainless steel whip. And so hopefully that'll be resonant on 20 meters because I didn't bring an ATU with me, and I'm going to show you the reason why. Well, there's not really a reason why. I should have brought an ATU with me, but I just didn't do it this time because I'm bringing a new radio. I'm feeding this with some cable that I got with my Chameleon Impasse Lite. This is really good Chameleon cable. I think it's 50 feet of it with a common mode choke on the other end. And for the radio though, this is a radio I've been wanting to test for so long. Usually with QRP radios, I tend to be a little bit of an early adopter because I test and evaluate radios and write reviews for magazines and stuff. This time I'm a very late adopter of this radio, and I think you'll recognize it here. It is the Yaesu FT-891, and let me get it here on the camera. I have been asked probably more than any other radio to give this one a go. And I've known for a long time it's a good one. Well, I'm also using a new tripod here, and I'm trying to get this thing oriented. I broke the other one at a soda activation last month. I've been asked over and over again to give this radio a go. It must be one of the most popular radios for parks on the air activators. Hands down. Almost every park activator, almost every ham I know has an FT-891 at this point. They're a fantastic value in radio. They've got good audio, decent filtering, overall very good characteristics. Plus they're designed for mobile use. This front faceplate comes off and you can mount it remotely with a cable. And it has really good characteristics. It's a good Yaesu radio, and I'm sure this is a cash cow for Yaesu. They're so affordable. 2 years ago, I had this in my shopping cart at, I think it was DX Engineering during Black Friday sale. And I literally loaded in everything, and I had done everything except press the submit button for the payment. And I thought, I'm going to wait an hour before I do this. And the reason why, I think it was on sale for $635 or $625 or something. It was an incredible deal for this radio, because it's a 100 watt full HF radio, and includes six meters as well, and multi-mode. The reason I didn't do it is because I knew deep down inside I probably wouldn't take this to the field a whole lot, because I tend to specialize. For me, I like smaller, compact field portable radios like the KX1, the KX2, KX3, the 705, IC705, the TR35, the MTR3B, just lots of those smaller radios, more compact radios. My larger radios, like my Argonaut 5, my Mission RG01, and my Elecraft K2 now is kind of a larger format radio. I just end up not taking them to the field quite as often, because I tend to pack a little more lightly with my radios. And the FT-891 is actually not a super heavy radio, but I just knew I probably wouldn't use it a whole lot. So how did I come about this one? You may be asking. Well, basically, I had a conversation with a friend who contacted me because he was planning to sell his 891, and he said, "Thomas, would you have any interest in this radio at all? Because if so, I'll sell it to you before I list it online." And I considered it for a moment, and I thought, I don't know. It's kind of the same reasons. But I was tempted because, I know him, trust him. I knew that this would be a really good radio. So I was very tempted to do it. And I just kind of said, let's talk about it. And I was really busy that evening. The next day, he said he also had a really large battery that he was going to sell with it. And he explained the reason why is he wanted to sell this stuff to get a super compact, portable, all-in-one QRP radio. And one of the ones he was looking at was the Xiegu X5105. Well, I have a Xiegu X5105, and it's in great shape, of course. And I thought, and I told him, I said, I've got one, and I've been thinking about selling it. And I have been. And the reason why, it has nothing to do with the radio, really. I think it's actually a really fun, useful radio. And if you read my review of the X5105, I completely stand by that. My only gripe with it at all is the keyer is just a little funky. So when I haven't used it for a long time and then I go back to it, the cadence, there's just something just slightly off compared to my other radios. But I found that in the past, I go back and look at my videos, I was keying really well with it when I used it kind of more heavily. But I end up not using it as much because I have so many other portable radios that are in that similar form factor. And I tend to default to my KX2 when I want an all-in-one with a built-in ATU. I now have the TR45L, which is CW only. It doesn't have all the bands and all the fancy stuff, but it is an all-in-one radio with a built-in tuner manual. And I wasn't using as much. In fact, I had pulled it off the shelf when I was thinking maybe I should sell this and give it to somebody who, would use it more often than I am right now. And realized at the last time I had used it was like in October of last year, which has been nearly 6 months ago at this point. So I told my friend, okay, let's trade. And obviously your 891's worth more than my X5105. And so what I did was I sweetened the pot for him. And so we did a trade. I also bought his huge battery. He has a 30 amp hour battery that's made by Bioenno. This is a 15 amp hour battery that's here. And I love this one. And this is the one I tend to use for QRO radios in the field, or my non-QRP radios at least. And so, yeah, he agreed to do that. And so we did a swap and traded it. And he is as happy as he can be with the X5105, and I'm so pleased for him because he was lugging this plus this massive battery out to the field, and now he's getting into CW operating and things like that. The X5105 is just kind of a better choice for him. So we're both very pleased with it. And I was able to give him some stuff I had set aside for him for a long time anyway. So I was able to throw that in there, and everybody was really happy. And I thought this will give me a chance to spend good quality time with the FT-891 without having it on loan from Yaesu or something where I'd need to return it. So that's where we are right now. That's how I ended up with an FT-891. Now, I will say, I decided to bring this out here for its very first field activation with me and CW, and I don't know this radio that well at all. And boy, I tell you what, it's, I guess if you're an 891 owner, you're well aware of this, but the ergonomics leave something to be desired. That's for sure. They really do. They leave something to be desired. But it's, but I can see that I'll get used to it. I still don't quite know yet, and I'm sure by the time this video is posted, I'll know. I don't even quite know yet how to, in real time, adjust the filter of the CW filter. Right now I have it, I guess it's in, actually looking at it now, it says it's in narrow mode. Huh. I wonder if there is an NAR. You can tell I haven't used this radio a whole lot. I did read through the manual, and it's surprising. Ah, there we go. Let's see, maybe I can do this. That's how we do it. Let's go down here. Yeah. Okay, there we go. I opened it up a little bit. I don't mind having kind of a wide filter. Anyway, hey, I just figured that out. So that's kind of clunky to get to, I have to admit. But I think that's a well-known thing with this radio. That's probably, out of the give and take of the radio, this is the one thing that, you know, users aren't as crazy about, or the ergonomics. But you get used to these things, and when you're operating, you can figure it out, so it's not a big deal. So anyway, I am operating this with 5 watts of power output. I did figure out how to get to that through the other menu settings here. I've got it set HF power 5 watts, and I think I get it. Now let's see here. I'm going to be dangerously close, I think, to the, where are the FT4? No, they're a little bit, the FT8 frequency's a little bit lower. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, good. Getting an excellent SWR. That looks like a 1-to-1 SWR. You can't tell probably on this camera, but it's going all the way down. I turned the meter to be an SWR meter, so that's looking really good. I don't have any of the memories programmed in it for CW, so I will be hand keying, or using a paddle. I'll be using a paddle for all of this. I've also set this for full break-in, so like proper QSK, you're going to hear a little bit more relay clicking. I want to see how much I like it with the FT-891. We'll find out. This has enough audio. This has got incredible audio, actually, so I don't think there's going to be any problem hearing contacts come in. Now, I've got just a little over 30 minutes to do this activation, then I've got to go pick up my daughters, so I better get to work on this and get started. Let's see, what's the time? It's going to be in the 1800 range. There we go. I'm going to give it a go at logging here on the side with hammers, but I meant to bring my tablet and I didn't do it, so here we are. Let's see. I also have a little pad to put the key on, a little rubberized pad that a few of you had recommended, especially my friend the E6LK events. I bought 2 of them and didn't bring it out today, so there you go. I don't mind having a little larger key on a day like today where my hands are cold. Take the finger and thumb off of this one too. I don't know, I'm probably not going to log on the side here. I hope there's not too much of a flicker going on here. EJT. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll log. Was that a KB? Oh goodness. Okay. Okay, I think I heard 88. Oh, there we go. Wow. Okay, wait. Oh. Wow, the keyer on this is amazing. But my hands are cold. You're sounding great, Kyle. Ugh, come on, hand. T9IS is a big hunter. Okay, let's see here, 1824. W8. Let's try that again. See, I heard him through that, all of that. I heard him through because he was a little off frequency. Weak signal, heard him straight through there because he was slightly off frequency. I think I heard it AB. Oh, good. Okay, well, okay. 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 Okay, let me see. I'll try to get you. Now let's see, I heard an F. Okay, there we go. Got him. I don't know why I was hearing an F. Okay, I'm gonna get the KU next. Oh my goodness, this is crazy, isn't it? Oh, yeah, I got him. Okay, got him. Okay. Okay, let's see here. Where are we? Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm wondering if that's not the F I heard earlier, because it's very strong. My hands won't work. Oh my goodness, it's getting bigger. I don't know where the rid is on this. Oh, that's the problem with sending a K. I was listening to the trailing K, not thinking. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go for this. My hands are getting cold. There we go. The keying problems are my problems with my hands just not working quite as well. Okay, OS. Let me get this in here quick. Okay, did I hear? Oh, yes. Got him. I'm going to have to double check my logs here. I'm hoping I'm logging everybody correctly. Oh goodness, this is nuts. Okay. Did I hear that? Okay, wait. Okay, hey, okay, here we go. Let's get the E. Gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Lots of Florida today. Then we'll go with the M. There we go. Okay, wait. I got the TW because I heard that because he's a little off frequency. Okay, here we go. So I'm trying to hear the TW station. Okay. So I'm just gonna go for Oh goodness! Oh my goodness, this is crazy! Okay, I heard an F in there. Let's try that. That's who I heard. Good to get you in here, Jonathan. I bet you he's QRP too. Woo! I hope I'm not going too fast for you. Sometimes I don't even hear the speed, I just hear the call. This time. Okay, I think I heard a W2. Hope this isn't too loud for you, but I can't hit the volume right now. Boy, my handwriting's getting sloppy. Okay, here we go. It was a week. No, it's not KE4. Okay, let's see. I did hear him in there. K5KHK. $18.44. Okay. There we go. Okay. Go and KC4. I've got to end this though because I'm running out of time. Good, Arkansas. Okay, now I've got to call QRT. I'm out of time. I hate to do this though. Good. That's nice. After all that, I got some nice responses, but hands are cold. Wow. Okay, so I got 28 contacts in that time. Not bad at all. I would love, I've got to go back actually through my logs and make sure that I haven't messed anything up over here by not logging something. Okay, some thoughts. I am not used to winter anymore. Winter kind of came back. I have been working outdoors and stuff, but we just haven't had a lot of winter time. I've been splitting wood for next winter. I don't even know if we'll get to use it. I don't even think I burned a quart of wood this winter. Okay. I love this radio. Man, this thing, the keyer is amazing in this. It really is really good. I have it set for full break-in. A lot of people just do like semi break-in so that there's a little bit of a delay after the TR switching. So you don't hear all that clicking. You know, you just hear like one click. But I kind of like it. I don't have a problem with that mechanical sound when I'm operating. I don't know why. It kind of adds to the side tone or something. I probably need to raise the side tone, like a notch or two maybe. I've got to figure out how to do that yet. I'm sure I'll figure it out. I can tell you that using the Traveler today made a lot of sense. And the reason why is because my hands are cold. The wind is what's doing it right now. The cold is not a big deal, but the wind is just blowing straight through these gloves and making it a little difficult. And when your hands get really cold when you're keying, it just kind of affects your keying a bit. Now, had this been a really cold winter and this would be another cold day, my hands kind of get adjusted to it after a while, but they're not today for some reason. So yeah, that was an insane pileup. And I've got to be honest with you, I really expected this to be a slow activation because we have kind of crappy propagation today. The forecast looked really bad, even for 20 meters. 20 meters was one of the better bands, but this was a huge pileup. Now, I will tell you that I widened the filter on this, and the reason I do that is because I like to, I don't like to have a narrow kind of like, you know, with blinders on kind of view of the bands when I'm operating. I like to hear a really wide amount because that allows me to hear people that travel a little off frequency so that I can hear them at a different tone than I do everyone else. And if you're watching this video and you're trying to work me now, first of all, I'm sorry I couldn't work you. There were just so many stations in there and so many really strong stations. The way I tend to do things is I try to stick with someone. So like if I get someone and I only hear like a T, K, and a call sign, I'm going to go back 2 or 3 times. This is not a contest, so there's not like this isn't a contest situation where you really only try it once or twice and you move on to the next person. So I try to give it a little bit of time to make sure that someone didn't fade down and then come back up. Because if I heard them, I'd like to just go ahead and work them. I pretty much ignore all other calls during that time. Right. It's sometimes I'll note another call sign down if I heard it in the pileup normally, but normally I tune out all of the call signs. I don't write them down. I don't commit them to memory because I'm listening for that one person to come back to me, and I'm listening for their call sign. So if you're doing that, if you send your call during one of those times, just know that I'm not ignoring you like intentionally because you sent your call sign. I'm ignoring you because I ignore everyone when I'm listening for one call normally. So that's sort of how I run things when I do it. Now, sometimes I will hear, I'll call for a station, and let's say that I call for a V, and then nobody responds twice, and someone else has sent their call and it stays in my head. Then I'll go ahead and work that other call instead of going back and calling CQ again or QRZ and having more people come. I'll just work the last call I heard. The truth is, when you're in charge of a pileup, you're in charge of the pileup. You just kind of handle it how you want to. I tend to not encourage, I'm not a big fan of stretching out the pileup, like tagging on to the end, tail ending as they call it. And the reason why is because it makes the pileup a little unruly, and then it takes longer to actually work people from the activator side of things. So I try not to encourage too much tail ending, but I think we've all tail ended before, especially in de-expedition situations, in places where you're using split. Tail ending's absolutely fine, but when you're working one frequency, it can just make the pileup stretch out even longer because other people start to do it. But I tend to just I listen in there, and I also try to work weak stations. And it's amazing, like this one station, I won't be able to find them again now, but they were, 549 or something? I mean, they were pretty weak, maybe 539, I can't remember. And I could hear them easily. I'm sure you could too, because they tuned off frequency. And that's how I almost always call another activator. If I'm hunting them and they've got a pileup, you better believe I am not going to zero beat them. I'm going to be 0.05 to 0.1 kilohertz off. Now, the danger in doing that is if someone's not doing what I'm doing and leaving the filter just wide open as a barn door, then they may not hear you if you're outside the skirts of their filter. If their filter has sharp skirts and it's kind of surgical, they may not hear you out there. As an activator, if you are using a narrow filter and you're working a pileup, then I would encourage you to use the RIT control to kind of move around a little bit to make sure that you're hearing people who may be doing that, because that is a strategy as a QRPer that you use a lot, is to go slightly off frequency to vary the tone of your signal. Now, I need to go ahead and pack up really quickly. I've got to go pick up my daughters. Thank you so much for joining me today. This was amazing, actually. And wow, what a nice pairing. This Yaesu FT-891 and the MC750. I've got to say, I think I will take this radio to the field more often. This was a real pleasure to use. The audio is amazing. Yeah, you need a bigger battery. And no, I'm not using the full power of the thing. I mean, if I would have turned it up to 100 watts today, what would I have gained? I had more stations I could possibly work in the amount of time I had anyway. So, I don't really need those extra watts, in my opinion. Now, if I were doing field day or something, that'd be different maybe. If I wasn't doing a QRP field day, if I was doing it with a club or something. But yeah, no, I really love this thing. So I really better cut this short. I do have to head out of here. But yeah, that antenna is doing a fantastic job. And I'm just going to put it up really quickly and head inside the car. And take my daughters home. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope you get a chance to go out and play radio this week. I hope that, I'm sure by the time you're watching this, it's sometime in April, I'm guessing. I hope you're getting good weather, good chance to go outdoors, spend time with friends and family. And by all means, be kind to one another. That's all we got on this old planet's each other. So until next time, take care, stay safe, and 7 3s.